What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
You hear them coming for your guns, knocking on your door. We're here for your possession of illegal firearms. All the semi-autos will be banned. Everyone else will be registered. Anybody with any psychological thing in their life, you have a car wreck, they say, oh, I'm giving you a prescription at the hospital for Prozac. You've got post-traumatic. You don't really. No more Second Amendment. This will dwarf the 68 Gun Control Act, everything. This is Chicago, big city crime machine. They like their slaves disarmed so they can then have their mafia police feed on the slaves. Like every day, I watch. Call them all suckers. Kurt Nimmo in studio here in Austin, Texas with us, visiting from where he works and runs Infowars.com for us. A lot of folks we have are contractors here, but Kurt is actually an employee of Infowars.com, and I saw the great work he was doing for years and got him on the team now about a year and a half ago. And it's good to have Kurt Nimmo here with us, a great guy that redesigned Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Kurt, this is a short segment. We're coming back in a long one, but that first question, we always talked about the jump point, when they finally went with the camps and the gun control and the open borders and the world banking. And we had all their documents. We knew what it would be. Now it's emerged. What is the public going to do? Are they going to just be hypnotized by Obama and walk right into the New World Order?
Well, I think most of the public's oblivious. They don't have any clue what's going on. They don't pay attention to any of this stuff.
Or they remember the old propaganda that it didn't exist, and so they're kind of like Robbie the Robot. You go, well, here's the Wall Street Journal and New York Times saying world government's good, and they're doing it. They go, cannot compute, smoke starts coming out. It does not exist, but they say it does. Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. They're plugged into CNN and Fox News, and they don't talk about any of this stuff there, so what do they know? Unless they listen to Alex Jones or read stuff on the web, they don't know anything about this stuff.
What about, is the FBI going to apologize for all those training manuals for police saying if you talk about a new world order or a world government, you're a terrorist?
No, absolutely not. The FBI doesn't apologize for anything.
So we're going to have world government, but if you say you don't like it, I guess you're a terrorist.
But it won't be billed as world government. It'll be billed, it's like these camps they're coming up with. They're billed as, just in case there's another Katrina or a natural disaster or a bioattack or whatever. It's for your own good.
But then when you read what the Army's saying, they're admitting it's for the American people.
Right.
But, of course, it does have a dual use for emergencies, but suddenly they're building them everywhere.
But it's billed as for your safety. It's billed for, if something happens, if there's a bioattack or a hurricane, you go to the camp. Read the bill. It says in the bill, there'll be facilities, humanitarian facilities,
And other facilities for other purposes.
Right.
And the local police will be there, and the local pastors that we told everybody were secretly training with them. Yep. They'll be there. Oh, what's up, the Lord?
Yeah, precisely.
And Pat Robertson's going, nothing can stop Obama. He is of the Lord. Socialism is good. And they're like, yes, of the Lord.
They're cranking it up. Like you said, the next 6 months, they're going to try to push all this stuff through. And once it's there...
Well, all the preparations, Kurt, and we're finally here. We're finally alive during the time of them defecating all over us. It's here.
It's one way to put it.
I'm sorry to be gross, but the New World Order hind end just popped down above us, and and they're going, here comes your freedom. Kurt, stay there.
Okay.
We're going to come back with a long segment. By the way, I like that hat you're wearing. Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is? Kurt Nimmo, live and in the flesh. His second visit to the Infowars Command Center. I am freaked out by all the massive attacks on the Second Amendment, the FEMA camps and all being announced. The slaves, meaning they're getting ready to potentially use it if they can sell the slaves on it. Will the people not be slaves? Will they say no? Will they fight back against it in the info war? Kurt, what do you think of the new digs here, the new office?
Wonderful. Excellent facility you got here.
You got a lot more going on. We're turning the heat up. You see us doing interviews, bringing folks in. We're beefing it up right now.
The heat's not up in here, though.
No. Do you like how I keep the studio?
Kind of a freezer in here.
Well, I like it cold. And, I used to have to boil in the other office because the AC didn't really work well in that little studio. So now it's the opposite. Kind of like a haunted house in this office. It's hot in one room and cold in another. Kurt, There's a lot to talk about with you. We got Jordan Maxwell coming up. But of all the things going on, what's most important to you right now that's happening? I mean, I have a positive view, even though things are negative, because now that they're openly announcing world government, saying it's the only thing that will save you, because they are actually announcing it in a lot of publications. Oh, it did exist, but it's for your own good. I don't know if the establishment realizes how many people we warned who then laughed at us, who are now going, whoa, you were right. Or maybe they do. They're just so arrogant.
Yeah, the most important thing for me is the economy. The engineered implosion of the economy is what's really front and center for me. I mean, everything else is secondary to facilitate this destruction of the American economy, the global economy.
Yeah, that's going to be their organized, controlled crises. They use terror, they use wars, they use controlled implosions.
Right, right. And they're trying to sell this, this camp situation as, like they did with Rex 84, illegal aliens and whatnot. But it's for the American people. It's not for an influx of Mexicans coming across the border.
Well, again, the Army admits that. They're over here in the Army War College saying we're preparing to engage the American people and put them in detention centers. And all of the urban warfare footage I taped, they're admitting it's for America, and they're practicing putting Americans in camps.
But they're not billing it as camps for detention, though. They're billing it as a humanitarian response to some kind of crisis, which will probably be the economy.
I've never played this on TV. I've played the audio, but now that we're at TV, guys, go to YouTube and type in martial law. And you'll see a bunch of my videos, but you'll also see a bunch of local newscasts. Punch it up, and I'll show you which one it is. Scroll down. Keep scrolling down. I'm trying to find the one. Here it is. No, that's a town where they have martial law 24 hours a day. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll find it during the break. The point is, I have these newscasts where locally they admit they're preparing to engage the American people. And there's one I particularly want to play. But
again, you don't hear this on corporate news. You don't hear that this is for detention, per se.
Well, keep fleshing this out, Kurt Nimmo. How do you see things unfolding? How do you, on the good side, how could this go? Or on the bad side, how do you see it going?
Well, I don't really see any difference from the Bush administration. This is a continual thing that's going to go on. This is the same globalist agenda. It's not going to change. The only difference is we got a new front guy, and he's much more, savvy, and he can read the teleprompters better, and it's the same agenda. Same agenda under Clinton, same agenda under Bush Sr. So it's just a continuation of the same agenda.
I agree. Continue.
And so I think that Obama is probably going to have to, what really is really interesting is this, when you had Wayne Manson on, and he was talking about Rahm Emanuel, who's apparently the real president, cracking his knuckles in Obama's ear. So you take a look at this guy, and you see the real face of the global elite, because he's a front man. He's a former investor, Wall Street investor. And I think that Obama's, the sheen that he has, the urbane sheen of him will start to slip away when we see these other faces appearing. And that's what Rahm Emanuel is. He's the real voice back there.
Yeah, in front of the congressional delegation, cracking his knuckles, and Obama says, please stop that, it bothers me. And he gets up in front of everybody, in front of the congressional leadership, and goes right in his ears. Oh, yeah, I rule you. I'm in control.
He's a pit bull. He's a sociopath.
Well, this is a guy, again, in 96 when Clinton won at the victory dinner in front of everybody with a knife going, our enemies. And he'd say their name for like 5 minutes and die, die, die. You can't make this stuff up, Kurt.
Well, look who his father was. His father was a terrorist in Israel. An ear gun terrorist. So I guess the acorn doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the new chief of staff of the White House, father was one of the leaders in the Mossad and the ear gun terrorists. Explain what they did.
Ear gun terrorists was supposedly a Israeli defense force prior to the establishment of the State of Israel. Basically what they did is they attacked the British, they attacked their Arab enemies, and they engaged in terrorism, classic terrorism, blowing up hotels, killing people. And that's basically where his father came from. His father made the comment about, what was it about the Arabs cleaning the floor in the White House? I forget what the exact quote was, but this is the mentality. This is the mentality his son has. We have enemies, you know, and so we stab the knife in the table, and it's just an attitude. And that's the attitude that's behind Barack Obama. He's just the front man.
You know, this is driving me crazy. There's this particular video out of Georgia with the police playing the part of Americans and the armies there putting them in a camp. And I played the audio many times on there. I'm trying to find it on YouTube and can't. I'm trying to remember the exact headline. It doesn't matter. What I do want to play, though, is, guys, because I said I'd do it, pull up some of those local activist videos and put them on screen where FEMA took over one part of the old shopping mall and said it was for hurricane that was coming, but at the same time, it's still there. And that's what they do. They move in for something like that, and then they admit there's going to be all these federal centers everywhere